Hello and welcome to another Nikke video. 1 year has passed since Nikke was released. The game has changed so much since it first came out, and I'm going to discuss a lot of things new players have not seen, and for day 1 players, this will feel more like a blast from the past. Despite all the high, lows, and controversies, Nikke is continuing to be a better game as time goes on. Please leave a like and a sub, and I hope you enjoy the video. So first off, what I wanted to do in this video is to show off the day 1 tier list. So before the game came out, I mean, everyone was looking at what the units do, and of course we didn't know how the game was going to play 100%. There was a closed beta test, but a lot of people weren't there, and based on what the closed beta test actually provided different stuff than what was on the final game. So we can take a look at here. So if we look at the SS, everybody is using Ludmilla on their teams, right? I mean, you'd be a dummy to not use it on your team. Not only that, we do have a volume there on the S tier, Noah, Haran. There are some units here that are pretty S. Unfortunately, some of these have, obviously, I've already known, they already dropped off. And there's a reason why as well. They're at the top tier, which I'll mention at a later time. And then once we go to the A tier here, I mean, you are using Neon. You'd be an idiot not to use Neon. You do have Rupee, Yuni as well. There's also Julia, Signal. Come on, you got to use Signal. Your favorite gamer girl, Exia, she's there too. But yeah, I see there are a few units that are even A as well. But I'm gonna show you the other tier list in a second. I just want to go ahead and just keep going through this tier list here. So here's for the B up here, which is gonna be, which some of these actually are still at B tier. Some of them are not. I know everybody loves Crow, so make sure to have Crow on your team there. You have your 5-star max stats Emma, right? Of course, Alice. I mean, why do you want to put Alice on your main team, guys? She's not even SS. Come on, what's wrong with you guys? Even Senti. Why do you want her on your team? So and there are other units too here too. You do have the Rupee and a Noise, and if I keep going down here, some of these have changed, some of them have not down here, and yeah, some of them have never moved once they got down here. Yeah, so from day 1 to what we have now, it's completely different, obviously, but there were certain reasons why they were there. Let me go ahead and show you what the current tier list is of today, and I believe this tier list that you're seeing right now, this was from Pride when, I believe. It's been a long time, guys. Yeah, let me go ahead and zoom in here, so then that way we can go see what the actual tier list here. So yeah, obviously leader is going to be triple S there, and then you still have Senti triple S compared to B tier at the time. Obviously some of these units weren't there when the game first started, so I'm going to go ahead and not include them for here. But you have Alice, Scarlet, obviously they were triple S. I mean, now, what we know now, it's very obvious why Alice is in a triple S. Back then, when we were looking at their skills and looking at how they would work, since we didn't know how 100% how everything worked at the time, her skills didn't look that good at the time. But obviously as time went on and strategies kept developing, yeah, things have got better. Rapunzel, I mean, as soon as we started figuring out how healing worked and all that other stuff, she became a really good unit. Have Dala, triple S, a lot of these other units, they're pretty much staples in a lot of team. Oh, I didn't realize that Haran went to SS. I thought she was still down. Okay, I'm glad she went a little bit higher. Then you do have Privaty there, Noise. Yeah, because how I told you earlier, once you started realizing how good healing was, you wanted them more on your team. Yeah, I'm not gonna mention every single one here. I just want to go ahead and just at least see what the current tier was compared to day 1 there. And yeah, it's like night and day. A lot of these units did go up. Some of them stay the same. For example, Epinel there, Folk Wang, even Annie there also stayed to the same place. Some of these did rise up, some of them did not. Let me just go down to C tier, D tier here. And unfortunately, some of them did drop down to tiers from day 1. But other than that, yeah, it's a very major departure from this day 1 tier list compared to what it was on day, I guess, day 366 now, I guess you could say that. All right, next up is this bug guide. So pretty much there's a lot of bugs in the game. I just want to discuss a lot of the bugs. Unfortunately, this guide hasn't been updated in quite a while, but some of them did get fixed. Some of them did not. But I'm just going to go ahead and show some of them that, that did happen in the game, especially for day 1 players will really remember this. For people who started a little bit later, they will not. So pretty much there was this bug regarding the skill burst. So what would happen is that it wouldn't actually burst, even though you had a burst 1. Let me go and bring up an example. All right, yeah. So for example, it's going to be here. So yeah, even though they do have Pepper alive and active, for some reason it does not show it on the burst chain. So you can actually activate the burst. Yeah, I don't know what actually caused this, but for some reason, yeah, even though you had Nikke's alive, sometimes the burst chain would not go through for whatever reason. All right, so next up is going to be this aiming reticle bug. So at the time, what would happen is that actually Soline, for example, or other units, they could actually kill your own units. So let me go ahead and show you this example here. So here you go. You see, so you would go ahead and shoot like normal. And as soon as Soline or anybody who would do AoE damage, what would happen is pretty much you could actually kill your own ally. So if you look at the bottom here, you see all of them are alive. And as soon as she does her burst, she kills her own team. And only that, this could also be done during co-op. So sometimes people would troll, they would pick Soline, and then they would go purposely kill their own allies. It was a lot of fun. Laughs we're having all around. But yes, Soline used to be a killer for your own team. Yeah, I don't know why it would affect it. It just would sometimes. Okay, next up, it's going to be this full charge bug. So if you guys do not remember, back then, Yuni, Haran, so pretty much a lot of these units that could charge up, so these sniper rifle or rocket launcher units. So for a lot of these units that were sniper rifle and rocket launcher, what they would do is before the burst, they would purposely charge it at 250%, because what that would do is any skills and also any burst that initiates while you are fully charged, then that means you would get that amount of bonus applied to it as well. So all skills, as long as it's fully charged, you would have 250% additional damage. And also on the burst, you would have 250% additional damage for all bursts. Doesn't matter who's bursting, doesn't matter who's doing the skills. As long as you're doing them, it would basically provide an overpowered effect. This was not intentional here, but a lot of people did abuse this bug. So for example, you would see Yuni, because she does have another bug too, which I'll talk about in a little bit. And you will see Haran, a lot of these sniper rifle units you would see on the team, you would go ahead and just leave it fully charged. And then boom, you would have 250% damage on every burst. Doesn't matter who's bursting, as long as you have it fully charged there. Oh, and also this one as well, this next one up is going to be charge speed. So there was a bug with charge speed. Yeah, most people noticed it with sniper rifles, obviously, because you need to do max damage. But if you noticed here, as soon as you were charging it up, it would only stay at 100%. It would not go to its appropriate percentage there. So I know a lot of people noticed this bug because at this time, I think Alice was becoming more prevalent. So yeah, as soon as this happened, yeah, it actually should have been higher. So let me just go ahead and go to the next bug here. Oh, there's this other bug here too, the focus fire bug. Okay, so at a certain time in the game, pretty much what would happen is how it works currently right now is as soon as you would burst, all the Nikkes would aim where you were aiming at. But there's a certain point in the game where for some reason, a few Nikkes would not focus fire. So only like maybe one or two, sometimes none, would focus fire. And I don't know what caused this bug, but good thing it's fixed, because yeah, that was super annoying there. And then here's the bug that I was referring to with Yuni and a bunch of the other units. So pretty much here's the example. So basically Yuni has this ability, one of her skills is that long as she does charge, she fully charges a shot, it's going to basically replenish her ammo here. So, but on this glitch, you just go ahead and you just fully charge it, and then right away, it just goes ahead and refills everybody's ammo immediately without reloading, without doing anything. So there's a certain point in the game where Yuni was high on the tier list just because of this bug. So a lot of people were abusing this bug, but of course they obviously fixed it now. And unfortunately, Yuni is no longer anywhere in the top tier, even though she does look lovely. Okay, so let me go ahead and keep going down here. Yeah, and this bug here, which I think still goes on, but I think it was more prevalent during the start of the game, but pretty much this is how it went, is that for some reason, the Rapture would just fly off for whatever reason. It still happens every now and then, even today, but it was more prevalent back then. You see this one just flew off the screen and you instantly won the stage. So it still happens, but yeah, it was more prevalent back then. Okay, so let me keep going down. Oh, the max HP bug. Okay, so I don't know if you guys remember, there's pretty much this meme that came out. Here we go, I found it. So it's pretty much this one here. Usually you would hear this with the Revengeance music, fighting the senator. Yeah, so you would see this a lot during the game. One of the reasons why is because every time anybody would be fighting Noise, even though she's only supposed to heal a little bit, every shot would pretty much heal the whole team. Like pretty much almost her max HP every time. So not only that as well, it made her incredibly hard to kill too, where sometimes she could 1v5 the whole team, no problem. And let me go ahead and show you another example of that. Unfortunately, I couldn't find the whole video of it, but here I'm going to show you a picture of just basically everyone surviving, because even though she has no health, sometimes she would just still live even though she'd be healing, and it would just be super annoying. So yeah, this was part of the bugging too. Let me just go ahead and go down to something else, a shield bug, which I think they barely fixed now, some of them. And let me just keep going. Oh, and this one with Laplace, yeah, for some reason, whenever she did her burst, it would just show her shooting it from the side. it pretty much looks something like this, where it just showed that she was just shooting all the way to the side. Or usually, when I usually noticed it, it would be shooting all the way up. It was just a visual bug, and it was pretty funny. Oh yeah, I see for Ludmilla, eventually they figured out that her taunting didn't work. Yeah, there's a lot of skills that just did not work, guys, early on for whatever reason. Oh, and then there's this one with the full burst carryover. Yeah, so for some reason, when you're doing PvP, I don't know what really triggered it, but pretty much what would happen, yeah, for some reason, the burst would just carry over. I think it had to do if you're getting close to having your burst at the end of the PvP stage. I'll go ahead and show you at the third encounter here. Yeah, as soon as this battle's over, it's going to go ahead and trigger right after this battle, I think, if I remember correctly here. Yeah, so as soon as the third battle starts off, yeah, it immediately goes into a full burst. All the effects are going like normal if it was a full burst. And yeah, this triggered randomly. No one knew what was happening. They finally fixed this eventually. But yeah, this was a plague in PvP. Yeah, this was one of many plagues in the PvP arena. Let me go ahead and keep going down here. Oh, the Gravedigger floating bug. Yeah, so just so you know, there was a lot of Gravedigger bugs. One of them was the floating bug. Yeah, so basically one of the bugs in there was that Gravedigger would not fly around. Like after a certain amount of time, he would just stay put and he would not attack. So pretty much what you're looking at here is that I'll just go ahead and play the video, that way you can just easily see. Yeah, for some reason he would just sometimes be in the background not attacking, or if not, sometimes he would be directly right in front of you guys and not attacking either. He would just be there chilling, and there you'd be able to easily chip away at him and get him down to the next stage. He would reset his animations as soon as one of the phases is over. So as soon as you do enough damage and knock down his armor, that's when the next phase would start automatically and things would proceed like normal. But again, depending on what you did, most likely you had a burst at a certain time. If I'm trying to remember, it's been a long time, but I think you had a burst at a certain time, and what that would do is I would immediately lock Gravedigger to a certain phase until you damage his armor. And it could be done at every single phase, so you could actually lock him out 3 times in a row if you wanted to. I found the other one that I was talking about with Gravedigger. Yeah, I see. So all of a sudden what would happen is that he would just freeze up, and then he would just stay very, very close to you, and then he would do nothing. Yeah, so he would be super close. He would just be chilling, saying hi, and then you would just damage him, and then eventually, as soon as you break his armor, he would go back to normal. But of course, you could go ahead and bug him again, and then he would just be doing the same thing over again, where he wouldn't attack, he would just chill there. And yeah, so this was another way people got to a higher stage than they should have on the special interception. And also there was another one as well, that basically as soon as he came out, he would immediately kill himself. Oh, here it is. Yeah, so pretty much you see, as soon as the stage would load, he would immediately go over you, and as soon as you did, it would clear because pretty much he would go and he would kill himself off stage. The only downside is that it does not give you a full clear upon doing so. It's whatever damage you did to him, that's where you would be, and most likely it's going to be at the first stage of the damage. And yeah, you're going to get very poor rewards if this happened to you. So if you ever saw it while you were playing, you had to immediately restart, because if you didn't, you would get very crappy rewards for not doing so. And yeah, let me go ahead and keep going down here. Oh yeah, the boss interruption circles. Yeah, there was a time where even though you're aiming at the red circles, it would either not get broken because somehow it would stop receiving damage, or if not, the hitbox for it would be misplaced as well. Oh, and now there's a campaign squeeze where sometimes you could squeeze in between some of the units, but yeah, they patched that out as well. Oh, the co-op force swap bug. This was a little funny and also extremely annoying if it happened to you. Pretty much what would happen is that whenever you're playing co-op, for some reason it would just automatically switch units. So even though you really only selected one unit, you know whatever unit you want to choose, the game would randomly be switching to your companions' Nikkes. You couldn't really do anything during it. Everything was just stuck. Your burst was stuck. Yeah, nobody knew what was going on. This was early on in the co-op, and there was a bunch of bugs early on in the co-op, and this was one of the many fun ones, so it was very annoying, and there wasn't too much you can do if the bug happened to you, just so you guys know. Oh, here's another one, a simulation room. Pretty much there is this thing where, depending on what buff you got, pretty much if it's anything regarding a chance of the buff to apply. So for example, like the reload at the end, what would happen now is you would have 100% of that happening. So for example, here's a video of Scarlet, and you see she is never reloading. So the whole time in the simulation room, as long as you got any of those that applied a buff, you know, a chance buff, it was bugged at the time, but pretty much it would be 100% chance. So a lot of people would choose the infinity reload. When if you got damaged, it would do like 1000% damage as a counter buff. A lot of this stuff. So yeah, so a lot of people did a lot of these buffs to go ahead and get healed. You know, even the upon reloading, you would heal. That buff would be 100% as well. So every time you would reload, you would get healed as well if you haven't got that buff. Yeah, so that's like one of the many buffs that would get abused during that time. The 9999 visual bug, yes. So sometimes whenever you beat a stage, for some reason, it would just show that you have max stats. So I'll go ahead and show you right here. Yeah, see, it's showing that you have a lot of the units had 999,999,999 points of attack, defense, and healing. Obviously, that's not true, but yeah, this is one of the many bugs that was there. It's just it's more of a visual bug, really. Oh, the Exia icon bug. I believe that bug is still going around, but pretty much it was more prevalent back then, where pretty much it would show Exia at every point. So you would always see Exia, you know, there for whatever reason. I don't know why. I guess that's just their default error icon. Oh, the live wallpaper stuttering bug. Yeah, so there was a certain point in the game where they actually deployed an update, but for some reason the update was extremely buggy and made the game like a slideshow for whatever reason, and it pretty much made it look like that. So yeah, for like a good few weeks, the whole game was like a slideshow. Everything was lagging. If you thought the game had a long loading times, man, if you played during that time, you would really see long loading times there. Yeah, this was an extremely annoying time to play. Everybody was intentional of where they were to be clicking, because yeah, it was just an extremely annoying time to play at that time. Oh yeah, this one, the unit shared. I never got this to happen, but yeah, I guess what happens is that if you actually have multiple accounts, like if you log in multiple accounts on the phone, for some or on the game, for some reason, sometimes you would be able to share units between accounts. Yeah, they fixed that out pretty quick. Oh yeah, here is another bug as well. For some reason, sometimes whenever you burst or did anything like this, the screen would just automatically have this color here, and you couldn't actually see anything for a good duration, sometimes for the whole stage. I don't know why that happened, but yeah, sometimes that would just happen. And yeah, there's actually some other bugs that they actually didn't even mention there for some reason. Okay, so I'm going to do some honorable mentions here. So one of them is going to be the Nihilister Bug. This got patched out, and pretty much I beat Nihilister before this bug was known. But pretty much what would happen is that depending on when you burst, when you're fighting Nihilister, what would happen is you would actually instantly kill her. So pretty much what was going on is that if you were actually pretty much as soon as she was going to go into her next phase, if you would burst right before the phase would start, like it's like pretty much as soon as she jumps and then, you know, she turns into the double-headed dragon there, if you would pretty much burst right before that started, what would happen is it would throw the timing off in the game, and what that would do instead is it would instantly kill her upon loading of the next phase there. So let me see if I'll go ahead and show you right here. So you see she's going to go ahead and die, and then as soon as she revives, I wish they would have skipped this so that way we didn't have to see it. She's just going to go ahead and drop like a rock. See, there you go. And she just drops like a rock. And then pretty much you did beat Nihilister from there, because that did count as a kill. So even though he has 14 seconds on the clock, yeah, he still managed to beat her. No problem there. And yeah, so this is one of the many bugs. I beat her before this bug was known, and pretty much the bug came out about 2 weeks after I beat it. I wish I knew before it, because I pretty much was rushing to beat this boss. And yeah, so a lot of people did abuse this bug as soon as it came out. So if you beat the Nihilister before the bug, great job. If you beat it after, just don't tell nobody, okay? And then there was also this other bug here too. I'll go ahead and show it. This one I had to go to other sites, but pretty much what happens is that you could actually skip certain levels in the campaign. So pretty much how it worked is that you would click outside, like basically an area far away from your current stage, and as the units are walking, you go ahead and immediately switch stages, and then you go ahead and load a different app. So you just go ahead and on the app drawer, you go to a different app, you wait there a little bit, you go ahead and after about a minute or two, you would go back into the game. It would load like normal. You go back to the previous chapter, and then as soon as that chapter loads, you would be past that enemy. Yeah, and this could be done for any enemy in the game. Most of the people that I know that did it, they would do it for really hard enemies that are basically the wall of that chapter. Because you know there's certain enemies that are there are certain stages that are extremely difficult, and pretty much you could basically bypass those stages and defeat the weaker stages. And pretty much it was more so you could gain resources faster, you know, because if you defeat those stages, it's gonna increase your outpost level, and if you increase your outpost level, you get better rewards. So that was basically one thing that people were doing in order to get farther in the game. And yeah, they did eventually patch that out, just so you guys know. So you cannot do that anymore. And there's some other stuff here too that they did not mention. One of them was going to be regarding Laplace. She had a lot of bugs too. Yeah, so here you go with Laplace. What would happen is that for some reason, pretty much as long as you did the burst, or if not just even held her charge shot, she would not actually die. She would have infinity HP, even though her character is gone, and her icon on the bottom is grayed out. For some reason, she would just not die. Yeah, she would just keep living, and that also worked for PvP, I believe. It also worked for PvP, but if not, a lot of people did abuse this bug as well to beat Gravedigger. You know, but of course you have to get far enough just to even do it, because since Laplace can live forever, it's just a matter of time. But pretty much all the stages are time limited. So yeah, there's other abuse going on. Oh, and also do have this image of basically somebody taunting other people. I think it's from the chans here, but pretty much they're regarding the abuse of bugs here. They're pretty much saying, hey, which is true. They didn't ban a lot of this stuff that you're seeing here. I know the iframe is not really abuse because that's part of the game, especially since a lot of people do use it for the train. I know the force landscape was a little touchy, depending, you know, because I know depending on the hardware you cannot force landscape, but with emulators you could force landscape. So there were some people that did not like it, some people that did. I never used it. But yeah, I see there's some of these people here that are pretty much saying, hey, you know, they're not going to ban macros. But obviously, how you can tell, yeah, ShiftUp put a hard stance on it. You can even look at the time of the post. He says 5/17/23. So yeah, that was like pretty much the first half of the year. And he was pretty confident at that time. Okay, next I'm going to be talking about the controversies that was with this game. Yeah, so not everything was sunshine and rainbows. But pretty much the most prevalent controversy here in the game, well, one of many, is going to be revolving around Christmas Rupee. So pretty much at the time of Christmas Rupee, she got leaked, and that's why, especially those new players, you have seen that ShiftUp is having a very hard stance with leaks, is because her costume got leaked, and because of that, people were very excited how Christmas Rupee was going to look like, and because of that, holy moly, as soon as she got released, she did not look like how she was supposed to be before she got leaked. Yeah, her final design was completely different. Well, not completely different, but different enough where people were really throwing a fit. Pretty much every tweet on Twitter was talking about how she was censored. You know, they added this little skirt to her. They also changed how her chest looked, which now they put like this little mesh on her. They also changed how her leg was posed, where before she was going like a little bit like spread eagle a little bit, where now she's looking like she has her both legs forward, which sort of makes sense considering how Rupee has her regular skirt. Oh, and also as well, I'm sorry, I forgot about her SD costume. I mean, her SD model. Yeah, her SD model for Rupee actually doesn't have the skirt. I don't know if it doesn't have the skirt today, but when it was first released, yeah, it did not have the skirt at all. So then that's why basically it fueled Rupee's fire even more. Because of that, oh man, yeah, it was a very horrible time, guys. But anyways, what you would be seeing a lot online would be something like this. You would basically be seeing Rupee covered up in a burqa. Yeah, so every time you'd be seeing any tweet, any Reddit thread. Oh man, yeah, the official Reddit, man, yeah, oh man, there's so much stuff going online about this. But yes, so this was one of the major controversies here. Yeah, it even got so bad that someone actually made a modification of the burqa that was extremely sexy. I'll go ahead and show it right now on the screen. I don't think they ever released this one, but I went ahead and saved it during that time, and I'm not sure if they ever did make it, but go ahead and just feast your eyes on this. Yeah, I really wish they actually did make that one, because that one is very, very sexy. Not only that, they did have this as well with with Neve. You know, this is her final design here. You know, as you usually seen it. I think someone did this as fake news. Pretty much, it's sort of, now looking at it now, it sort of looks like Neve, and her coat looks like what's her face? Looks like Yuni's friend. I forgot Yuni's friend's name, but it looks like her coat. And why isn't this loading up? Yeah, so pretty much it would look something like this, but pretty much it would look like this. I think someone just did it as fake news there, because obviously she did not come out like this. And basically what was happening, there was an event that was happening in China with Hong Kong. And this is the reason why I'm telling you this, is because at one point they were going to say that Modernia pretty much got censored as well. And the reason why is because there was basically this protest happening over there in Hong Kong and, you know, China and all that stuff. And pretty much they were using these yellow ribbons to signify their protest. And pretty much what was happening is that Tencent, during this time, they had actually bought a part of Nikke, so a part of ShiftUp. So they're saying, hey, since they already went ahead and censored Rupee, they're going to go ahead and censor Modernia as well. And somebody was throwing all this proof that pretty much her signature ribbon is now black, and then also her breasts are a little bit higher, covered up. Obviously, this is her emotion, but during that time, we didn't know. And this, I'm going to go ahead and show you this other image that people were circulating as well. So you would see an image like this. Pretty much you would just see, you know, ShiftUp bowing down to China and Tencent there. So yeah, you would be seeing this a lot during this time. It was super annoying. And you see, and this is somebody's banner that somebody leaked at the time too. So this was Modernia's banner, and they're saying, hey, you know, this is what's going to come out. This looks like a pretty good fake, tell you honestly. But no, this did not come out like this, obviously. And not only that, what had happened is that the CEO of ShiftUp actually came out and actually denied it. So here is a Facebook post. Unfortunately, the link that they provided me unfortunately no longer worked because I think they changed it. But yeah, this was the original post. It says, "It's over, bros." And the left is the Modernia that we know now, and the right is the supposed censored one. One of the CEOs of ShiftUp, or the devs, I think, came out. Oh, he said the CEO, yeah. So he says right there, Hyung Tae Kim. It says fake news. Left is the final version, and then everyone was just shocked. Supposedly, people at the time that when this was shown, they said that was actually the CEO of ShiftUp. I'm not exactly sure myself, but yeah, they said the CEO of ShiftUp pretty much said, hey, this is fake news. Do not listen to this. Yeah, so not only that, I mean, there was other reasons too. I'll go ahead and post another image that you would be seeing around as well. So it'd be something like this here. You see where pretty much it shows Tencent there as Mr. Krabs, and then basically the people that are angry and ShiftUp there on the right hand side, and pretty much you know, he's just giving his grievances there. But then you would also be seeing this image here too. So let me go ahead and just show it here too. You see there would be Tencent censoring all of them. And I'll go ahead and show a lot of these images because some of them are not, some of these images that you're seeing, some of their bursts are not done. Some of them are. I know some of them did get, they're basically some of it covered up, but I don't think it was that bad. So for example, let me go ahead and show you here on the top left. So let me go ahead and show you Yuni's here. Yeah, see, so here is Yuni's, you know, so before she was pretty much licking it and being very seductively, but then eventually they turned it to the right where she just smiling and then she cracks the whip. So that's why people are saying, oh no, you know, now she's being censored because now you no longer see that. Another thing too was Admi's. So before Admi's, you could actually see some of her like spanky shorts there at the bottom. They went ahead and covered it up, and now she's fully on her knees playing with the cat there. So they're saying, oh no, now they went ahead and censored that too. Oh, almost forgot about Yuni's full outfit. Again, guys, I don't know if this is fully censored or not. I'm just going ahead and just showing you this. Yeah, so they said before on the left, that's how she actually looked. And then to the right is what we got. Yeah, so I don't know if this is 100% true or not. I mean, it sort of fits Yuni, tell you honestly, on the left. But yeah, so they said that she was a little bit more risque. Oh, and then also with Rupee, what happened with Rupee is that her skirt was a little bit shorter, but they changed it. But again, I don't know if that's 100% true. Yeah, see, so here is Rupee, and yeah, so they said her skirt was originally a little bit shorter, and you can see a little bit more of her panties. But honestly, I actually prefer it now because just seeing a little bit of her panties, you know, just that little tiny peek, actually, it's a little bit more sexier than just seeing everything fully out. I mean, it looks a little bit more trashy if everything's out. And yeah, and even though Rupee is very out there, she's very eccentric. You know, it just her current form fits her way much more better. Yeah, so next up it's gonna be here for Privaty. So pretty much the originally, which this was in game, I remember seeing this and then one day they changed it, but pretty much you could actually see more of her legs. Yeah, and you could obviously tell it wasn't fully done. Yeah, I remember seeing this burst and actually using her and stuff like that, and then one day all of a sudden black was underneath. So people were saying, oh, it's censorship, but honestly it's more that it just wasn't done. And then also another thing here too, oh, there you go, also found the animation of Privaty's there. Yeah, so that's how Privaty's burst used to look like, and yeah, you could tell that it's not even done at the bottom. So you could even tell that her legs, it's not supposed to look like that. I found it odd even at the time when this was even happening. Yeah, regarding Sakura, you see they were saying this too, which I don't know if this was true or not, but pretty much I guess originally her legs was a little spread, and then pretty much what they were, and then the one we got in is her legs are close together. Both of them had her kimono covering in the center, so you can actually see anything anyways. But what was going on is people were saying, oh, the reason why that this is censored is because the toe. So pretty much it looks like the big toe is correct on the left image, where basically you're looking at her right foot. So it looks like the big toe is in the correct spot, where on the right image, the big toe looks like it's on it looks like a big toe. So that's what people were saying. Oh, the toe isn't correct. So you could obviously tell it's flipped. You know, the game's being censored. Pretty much, yeah, that was going on. And yeah, there was actually one for Isabel as well. Yeah, here you go. So basically they're saying Isabel was basically, she had more of a thong going on compared to what she has now. I don't know if this is true or not, but yeah, they're saying, yeah, actually she had much tighter underwear back then as well. And then the other one too was going to be with Emma here. So originally with a lot of the old stuff, they pretty much said you could she was only wearing a bra there, so she wasn't wearing an undershirt. She was pretty much just wearing a bra, where right now it's pretty much a shirt and then a bra pretty much over that shirt. So here I could give you a better example of this ad here. I don't know where this ad was taken from, but yeah, you could obviously tell that Emma was showing a little bit more there too. And then not only that too, and her burst here, I think this burst looks the same. I mean, I have this image saved with all the censor stuff. I don't know if that's how much she moved or not. I'm not sure. I haven't actually seen her burst in a long time, but it looks the same to me. Here we go. Okay, so here I found the one with the niece there. So yeah, you could obviously tell at the top there that they're showing the first two that are censored and the last two are uncensored. Yeah, at the time, I don't think people realized regarding how the ads, a lot of the ads, even today, when they show a niece, she's pretty much more covered up compared to as she is in the game. But of course, during this time, when everybody was had their pitchforks out for censorship, yeah, so she was in the limelight as well. And this was one of the images that was circulating as well in terms of the Nikke being dead within the first month of release, pretty much. So you can see in Squidward there cry, and it's showing a Nikke 2022 from 2022. Yeah, very fun time, guys. Very fun time, guys. So yeah, the main reason why is because Tencent had bought a pretty good percentage of ShiftUp. So then that's why everybody's saying, hey, you know, they're censoring it more. But then also everyone's all saying, hey, Nikke is not actually in China. So yeah, it's actually not out there yet from what I remember. So unless they did it barely right now, but yeah, most of the time it was just in other regions. So they said, hey, there's really no reason for it to actually be censored. But of course, other people are saying, no, it's because they're getting it ready for China, and that's why they have to start censoring stuff. And it was just a major headache. Okay, now let me go ahead and go to this next controversy here. We're pretty much going to look at that they might be sued for this banner. Okay, so I don't know if you noticed this banner. This banner is currently in the game as well. Pretty much this is the only paid banner that's in the game that you have to use those charge gems for. Basically, what had happened during that time, you would be guaranteed one SSR, and during this time you are even guaranteed one SSR. But currently at the game, you actually get 2 SSRs with this paid banner. The reason why was because of the way how this banner worked. Pretty much what was supposed to happen is you were only supposed to get 1 SSR, and only that, you were not supposed to get pilgrims. Yeah, so what happened was that somebody had actually got a pilgrim on this paid banner when you weren't supposed to get a pilgrim. On top of that, what had happened is that sometimes you could actually get an SSR before the 10th pull. Basically, how they worded it is that you would get an SSR on the 10th pull. So pretty much if you got an SSR before the 10th pull, they should actually give you an additional one on the 10th. but basically that's not how it worked, and unfortunately they worded it incorrectly. So pretty much ShiftUp came up, and yeah, they basically had to say what they were gonna do, with it. And I'm just gonna I'm not gonna read the image there, but pretty much you go ahead and read it. So pretty much what they did is you did the pools, you did the paid pools, and then afterwards they would just give you a special mold where you would just get a guaranteed SSR mold from that. So that's how this whole drama with this banner came out, was because of that whole reason. And that's why you actually do get 2 SSRs with this banner as well, because of that. So in case you didn't know, those are really the 2 main controversies I could really think of. I know there's a few other ones too that I can't really put my head on. And of course, I don't want to make this video all negative of, all their mistakes and all that. So I'm just going to show you what Nikke has been doing overall here. I want to leave the video off on a good note. So let me go ahead and show you the overall stuff that was happening with Nikke here. And pretty much on this article here, what they're saying is that it's been very successful. And unfortunately, they didn't put this article in order. So I'll go ahead and show this first article here. You see it says, the shooter Goddess of Victory Nikke is a new mobile box office hit. In 2 weeks, the game has earned 62.1 million. And they go ahead and back it up here. How many downloads? You see almost 5 million downloads, $62 million in revenue. They go ahead and show the bars here. So it's pretty much just doing extremely well. And then next month, you see, which I was telling you earlier regarding the controversy. Yes, it says Tencent bought a 20% stake in the developers of Goddess of Nikke, so that gave them more money. But of course, because of all the things that was happening in Rupee, you see, so it is in December. Yeah, so that's why a whole bunch of stuff was going on with Rupee, just because of this one thing here. But let me go ahead and show you this next part here. What's this? 623.9. So let me go ahead and right here. It says revenue of the mobile Goddess Victory Nikke exceeds 400 million. And this was on the 6th month, on the 23rd there. And then I'm going down. You see, they even break it up here. It says indicates that Japan and USA had the most download titles at 23 and 14% respectively. Third place went to Taiwan. But pretty much the lion's share of the game is in Japan. So Japan gives the bulk of the purchases, almost at 60%. And then everyone else is pretty much almost at 16 for the United States, and then almost 4% for Korea there. And going down here, they actually exceeded their revenue again. So this is pretty much 919. And it says revenue of mobile version of Goddess and Victory Nikke exceeds 500 million. And during that time, it's showing here that that's pretty much a little bit over 60% goes to Japan, almost 15% USA, and 12% in South Korea. So South Korea did grow itself in terms of the of revenue there. And let me just go ahead and show a little bit more in depth here. This is more earlier in the months. But what I was just showing you there in the beginning of that article, where it shows Nikke makes over 100 million USD in revenue there. And this goes down and just breaks a little bit more down. And then the following month there, you see it says Goddess of Victory, a game that earns money without in-game ads. And yeah, actually when I read this, I was like, wow, they're actually right. I don't ever remember seeing any in-game ads in Nikke, ever. I don't think I've ever seen it. And yeah, they just go down on this thing, and they just talk about how well Nikke's doing. It says global revenue per download of 32 million and stuff like that. So this is in the beginning stages of Nikke. See, fast forward within the middle of the year, which they go more in depth of this 400 million within 12 months there. And then they go ahead and break down how everything is here. And then they do mention the 20% stake in ShiftUp by Tencent there. You see, and then this one here is in September as well. And they talk about $500 million in revenue. And they do go down there talking about how this revenue has affected Nikke and how they got this revenue there. And yeah, I just want to leave the video off on a good note. Yeah, I know this game has had a lot of ups and downs, had a lot of bugs, especially when it started. The day one tier list was completely different than what it is now. I remember some people re-rolling for hours to have Ludmilla on the team, believe it or not. Yeah, some of them had Scarlet and they threw the count away and stuff like that. So I mean, compared to what it is now, it's like night and day. It's a much improved game. There's a lot of stuff that works. I mean, they have done a lot of stuff to even give us more chances to get gems for free. I know it's not as much as how I would like it, or even other people would like it. But trust me, if you thought the gem economy was worse now, woo, you should have seen day one. Yeah, as soon as everybody was completed with the campaign, and once they reach a certain chapter in the campaign and side missions started to give like 10 or 15 gems, oh man, you should have seen how much people were complaining till then. Other than that, I would like your thoughts in the video. For any new players or any players that had started recently, did you actually happen to know about any of these bugs or any of these controversies that had happened? or did you happen to know and now you're glad to like sort of find out a little bit that what was happening? Or if not, any day one players, was there any bugs or maybe any controversies that I missed? I try to think of every single controversy that I could think of. I only really covered the major ones. Some of these bugs I had to really go out and find because some of the videos were deleted and some of the Reddit posts were actually scrubbed. So some of this was a little difficult to find. I actually had to go to different video hosting sites to pull up some of these bugs because they actually weren't on YouTube. So yeah, I was lucky. And not only that, some of the other bugs that I had too, unfortunately, a lot of the older links I no longer have anymore, or even the files, I have no idea where I placed them. But actually I did have other bugs as well. Other than that, I really hope you enjoyed the video. I actually meant to release this video yesterday, but compiling all this information, there are some factors externally here that actually prevented me from actually finishing this video and uploading it. So I'm barely finishing it up now, but I really hope you enjoyed this video. I just wanted to show everything that had happened within the first year of Nikke. I know not everybody knows everything. Some people don't know about the drama because they only play the game and they do not browse any outside sources. So some people have no idea what was happening with the game and all of this animosity and pitchfork for Tencent and all that stuff. But other than that, I really do hope you enjoy the video. I wanted to do something really special for the 1 year anniversary of this game. Hopefully you leave this video with a new appreciation of Nikke. It has come a long way. And if you did, I'd be more than happy to have a like and a sub. I would really appreciate it. I'm Scrublord and I'll see you next time.